how to put your suspension on T7 or any other bike. Some tips for you. No point in buying good suspension and putting them on crap. So first of all, you need to bottom fork leg, make sure that's really clean, nothing to stick in there. To clean that out so your shaft will slide back and forth in, because you don't want any stiction on that when you're putting the wheel back in. Then you've got your pinch bolts. You've got 8 of these. Use a bit of wire wool. For a real soft, what's the name? I can't think what it's called. You know what I mean. Just clean these up, Scotch-Brite or something like that, so they're nice and shiny. These to go in your top yokes, the pinch bolts. So make sure them are real clean, and then put a dab of anti-seize grease on it, so they'll torque up to the proper spec. Then you've got your wheel spacers that go in this shaft after. The wheel will go on like that shaft. Make sure these are clean. Inside, don't matter about the outside. The inside are going to be clean and no pits on them. If they are, buy some new ones, but they should be okay, them, the spacers. And this is the most important bit. This is your shaft. So that bit there, that bolts in on the T7, it bolts in, so that's solid. So when you pinch your forks up, your forks are going to move on this really easy. If they don't, your forks will feel like shit, no matter who's done them. So you're going to shine this up, this end piece. Make sure it's real smooth, real shiny. I use a bit of wire wool and some fine sandpaper. And you see how shiny that is? So that's no pits, no burrs, no nothing. That's the most important thing, setting your suspension up on your torque settings and your fork heights with these pinch bolts. So this wants to be shiny. And then I use silicone racing grease. That's what I use on my shaft. I'll grease the shaft with a light coating of this across so everything slides in and out real nice. Been using that for years, not sponsored at all by anybody. So that's your first step. Get your components clean and slippery so they'll slide. So your forks slide on that when you're setting them up. Right, all your mounting bolts are copper greased and put back in there, all cleaned and copper greased. Now you need to get your suspension leg. Mind your bloody torque wrench. Slide your suspension up through the leg. Don't worry about this bike, I'll just show you. Everything that I'm going to be torquing down is all cleaned, all the brake calipers on both sides. The bike is actually filthy because I blew my fork seals and I wanted to get them done quick. So slide your fork legs up there. That goes in your top tube. Bit awkward with the helmet on, and you see the fork coming through the top now, through the top mount. They'll hold there now. So you need to get your stickers lined up. That's the most important thing. TYRES suspension I use. There's his number on there if you want it. Right, so your fork's in there now. And the setting I use on your fork is 2 5p's on the top of there. What could I knock that down with? A piece of wood. Should have thought about this before putting the camera on. That'll do, won't it? So I'm setting my forks to 2 5p's off the silver band, which is actually spot on, believe it or not. So you can see the 2 5p's on that gold band there. That's where I set mine, and that is actually spot on. That was a bit of a fluke, so I don't even need a stick. So basically then you torque these up, tighten them up, set your torque wrench. There, 21 and 23, 21 on the bottom, just check. Front axle, top forks, 20 Newton meters on the bottom and 23 on the top ones. So you'll set your torque wrench to 23 Newton meters. Gonna go in the light a bit now. Make sure it's on the Newton meters as well, not the foot to pounds. So there, 20 Newton meters. And then you'll torque your bottom ones. I won't show you torquing it up. You just torque these bottom ones up to 20 Newton meters. Then the top ones, you torque to 23. So that's your one leg in. I will torque this up now. I won't show you how to torque it, because if you don't know how to use a torque wrench, you shouldn't be doing this, because you need a torque wrench. So that's a one leg almost installed, just in the triple clamps. So I will torque this one up and put the next one in and show you from there on. A good tip is to put the axle. Hang on, let me get the torque wrench. Torque these up. Don't tighten them all at once. 20 Newton meters torque on the bottoms, 23 on the tops. Use a proper torque wrench. Go every other and don't tighten them all the way up. Nip them up a bit at a time. All the 8 bolts. Get your spacer there. My setting is 2 5p coins to the top of the gold. Both sides. They've got to be identical. Otherwise your geometry of the suspension won't work properly. And a top tip, get your shaft, your axle shaft, and put that in there like that. And can I show you something? Why you need this real shiny, this end, is so this goes, look, you'll see that. That's bolted in there, so that slides. That actually slides. When you torque your wheel, when you get your wheel back in, I'll show you all this in a minute. But that actually slides there, and your pinch bolts are there, so your forks can be aligned. If they're not aligned, they'll be grabbing. And when you're riding, what you'll notice, if they aren't in line, over the real small chop, you won't have no suspension, and it'll feel really harsh if them are binding. So make sure that's nice and shiny. I'll grease all this before putting it back in now, so there's grease all on it, so it slides in well lubricated. I shall put the wheel and the discs on the brake pads on now, and I'll go to the next step. Next stage, you put your wheel through, you grease your shaft. Nobody likes a dry shaft. Torque wrench is set to 71 Newton meters on the T7, whatever your bike is. I put a block of wood underneath there because it's all on jacks, and there you go. That's your wheel installed. These are all still loose now, your pinch bolts. So I'll put the discs and everything back on next, and then we'll do the next step. That's the most important step. So I'll just put the calipers back on and be back with you. Right, this is my preferred way of lining my forks up so they don't bind. You've got a few options. Well, you've only got two options with these forks because they're held in solid to one side. My preferred option is simply spin the wheel a few times. I've already done it and it's lined, but you've got to do it. You've got to go. I'll just show you now. And you've got to hold the brake in as you do it. Do it with a spanner first. Just to pinch them up a little bit. These are all the way out because I've been took them out. Then grab your torque wrench, set at 21 Newton meters. There is a certain way to do this, front to in and out, but I don't bother. I just torque them easy like this. And that's your forks lined up. Using my preferred method is spinning the wheel and catching the brake. Pads are a bit tight, a bit of shit on them somewhere. Should have cleaned the pads a little bit more, but now your suspension's in line. This is all greased, so as your shaft slides, your suspension goes in and out on there. These are bolted tight to this side, and this one moves out, in or out. As you can see, it's gone in probably 2 mil from flush with outside. So that's all done now. So I use TYRES suspension for my work. Me and Sean. He does a very good job, and he's helped me out of the shit. I blew a seal on the fork, and they've been in for 18 months, the seals have. So I blew a seal on the one ride, and you will blow fork seals now and again, but I blew them big time. As you can see, all the oil on the sump guard. I've done a proper job on it. So they're all serviced by Andy. Highly recommended. Been using him, and he's well up to the Enduro bikes, and he's got a very good setups on these T7s. So have a chat. I might do a few more hints for you at the end of this video now. A quick little few quick tips that I might share with you. I'll give you one now. You can adjust the fork leg height on these I used to run £2 coins there with the gold showing, right? Now I'm gone down to 2 5p pieces. And the reason for it is it's not as twitchy. On the T7s, you can lose the front. If you've got a real quick steering bike on these T7s, you'll lose the front a lot easier. So I've got a compromise from quick and slow steering. So I've gone down to 2 5p coin gap to the gold, top of the gold, not the silver, to the top of the gold. And that's my preferred setting now. I've tried a few various settings. Basically, the lower these forks are down in your triple clamp, say if they're flush, you've got a slower steering bike. But sometimes slower is good, but on these T7s it's a little bit too slow. So 2 5mm coins I find about right, but that's my personal riding setup. So the bike is filthy now because it come in, I blew the forks and I just wanted to get the forks off. So they're back on now. I hope this has helped you how to do them. On the T7, the brake bolts are 40 Newton meters. The brake calipers. The pinch bolts are 21. These are 20, the bottom ones, and the top triple clamp bolts are 23 Newton meters. Do not put feet of pounds, Newton meters. And make sure you torque everything. The axle bolt is 71 mils. I always grease that. Grease the whole shaft and put copper grease on the end of the splines. You can see. Always use grease so that axle will slide. That's what you need to do. So when you mount these forks, that axle must slide on this leg to line the forks up. So I hope that gives you some tips, and we'll see you again. Have fun. Mad Max approved suspension. Isn't it, Max? Hey. What do you think, Max? Hey? Hey, Max. There you go. Suspension's done. Trying one of those one tires out. We'll let you know how we get on. My preferred front tires are Dunlop 908. So I got the Rebel Explorer 01 on the rear. Bike's dirty because it come back like that from Sunday ride, and I blew my forks seals. So it's all back together now, and you should know if you've got your forks in line. They will settle and come back. So there's a tip for you. Hopefully out this Saturday on her. So have fun and enjoy your suspension and put it on properly.